President Sepp Blatter won't step down and today's presidential election goes ahead as scheduled. This despite the bribery and corruption crisis engulfing football's governing body.
It is the story that has rocked the nation and raised many eyebrows in the process, dominating newspaper headlines and radio bulletins across the Republic. Cindy Paluta, who worked extensively on the 2010 tournament, says this is a disconcerting development and something that needs to be addressed by the authorities to root out the culprits.
I struggle to believe that the South African government knows nothing. They are right in saying, hold on, the FBI, we haven't actually received anything from you. But I also don't believe that the FBI would be launching a case if they didn't have the evidence to back it up and the paperwork. So nothing can take away from that spirit and that emotion that we all felt around the 2010, FIFA World Cup. The questions are, though, who did pay the money? We're still trying to find out. If there was a bribe paid in this briefcase, that's Sports Minister Fikile Mbalula says it must be a massive briefcase to carry that much money. But then who did and who initiated it? Who had the conversations? Are all questions that everybody's asking. But in terms of the South African public, unfortunately, not really surprised by corruption, but just hurt, saddened, and a bit despondent that this is, unfortunately come up and that South Africa is the country named.
Paluta doesn't think the revelations are a smear campaign aimed at South Africa or the Football Association.
I think the FBI is trying to get FIFA President Sepp Blatter, perhaps, or those very close to him. And I think South Africa just happens to be one of the countries that was involved in it. Whether we paid the bribe or not, we don't know. Whether it came out of FIFA's money, whether it came out of the South African government money. The FBI's indictment says the money was not paid out of the South African government bank accounts. So I don't think it's a direct attack at South Africa. I think they're hoping South Africa will cooperate in their investigation.
Another journalist that has been following the developments very closely is Thando Ngqamane, and he believes that the scandal has tarnished the reputation of football on the continent.
It's been dragged through the mud. South Africa has a reputation that's slowly building in football. If you look at our national teams, they've slowly picked up over the past couple of years. After we had hit a high in the late 90s, we disappeared off the face of the earth, and now there was starting to be a glimmer of hope in football in South Africa, especially after the World Cup and the legacy that the FIFA 2010 World Cup has left behind. And for such allegations as these to come out now, it's rocking the football fraternity, not only in South Africa, in the whole continent of Africa.
This very football field at Wits University in Johannesburg is evidence of the legacy that the 2010 World Cup has left in South Africa, as well as the impact that it's had on South African sport in general. The big question, what would have happened if the World Cup had never come to South Africa and instead gone to Morocco? Well, the South African government, as well as the Football Association, have come out and said that no shenanigans went on in the bidding process to secure the World Cup. Even former President Thabo Mbeki has added his voice to the choir now, saying that nothing untoward happened and that as far as he's concerned, South Africa won the right, fair and square, to host the World Cup. CS Du Plessis, CCTV, Johannesburg, South Africa.